G'day folks, Andy here from McDowall Manor. So today we're going to do a little quick recipe, a little demo on how to make bread. And the particular bread I'm going to make is a French bread. And there you go, there's the ingredients for our French bread there. Pretty easy really. Water, oil, salt, sugar, flour, a product called bread improver which I'll show you, and some yeast. So it doesn't get much more simple than that. I'm going to take pretty much a no-knead approach to this, which is the easy way to do it. So what you're going to find we're going to do is 2 or 3 minutes of work at a time in short bursts, and the rest of the time is just let it do its thing. So it's a pretty easy way of cooking really. Okay, so we've got everything pretty much assembled here. Rightly or wrongly, I've put the wet ingredients in, so that's 375 ml of water. I've used 3 teaspoons of butter. We'll do the 2 teaspoons of salt. So there's nothing special about that salt. In fact, you can see it's the no-name one. Then we've got 3 teaspoons of sugar. What do we got? We've got the flour next. 4.5 cups. You can see I tend to buy my flour in bulk because I do make a bit of bread. So you can see I'm not being particularly careful, contrary to most of the recipes that tell you to be awfully careful with your measurements. I tend to find that the no-knead method pretty much takes care of that for itself. Okay. So I'll show you the label on this bread improver. I doubt the brand's important, but that's him there. It is actually called bread improver, folks. I think it's a protein to help get the protein in the flour back up. I find it does add a little flavour that I can certainly pick up, which I quite like. And so we'll throw that 1 3/4 teaspoons of yeast in there. Now when I say it's a no-knead recipe, don't take me as entirely literally, so you'll notice that pretty soon I will be doing some kneading, I just don't do a lot. Alright, so I'll wrap this into a dough now. So I've floured it, you can see I've mixed that dough up, not terribly much, as much as I'd want to mix it with a spoon. And what I'm going to do is the limited knead. So maybe we should start and use invent a phrase, hey folks? We'll call this our semi-knead bread. So I'm just going to sort of squash it around a bit with my hand in there. Throw it onto the floured bench. I've floured up my hands as well. So this is it's a fairly stiff dough, you can see probably, and I tend to just wrap it, squash it like that with the base of my hand, and wrap a bit over and squash again, and wrap a bit over and squash again until I get the doughy consistency. So I'll probably do that, just rubbing my hands in that flour, stops the dough from sticking to me. I actually reckon this is kneaded pretty much enough, is why I call it a semi-knead or almost a no-knead. Okay. So really I'm looking for a dough that's reasonably combined when I do this. Not worried about is it stretchy, although I can probably feel that it is, to be honest. But that's a bit technical for me, so I just mix the bits. Knead it enough to do what it's got to do. That'll do, I reckon. And then we're going to throw it back in its bowl. We'll cover that with a tea towel, and I'll leave that for well and truly a good few hours. I want to put it in the oven at about 3, so I'll probably leave that till about 1 o'clock. It's about 9:30 in the morning now. Look at that bread, see how she's gone. Oh, look at that, you can see that's swollen up beautifully. I'm going to tip this out onto this floured surface. Hey, look in the background there, what's that? Looks like my Rossie's making macaroons, you beauty. Anyway, back to the bread, folks. There's our floured surface to cut the dough up. There's our tray with semolina. Now I'm hearing funny rumours that could actually be some sort of cornmeal, but I wouldn't know, I'm too dumb. I use semolina on the bottom of there for where my bread rolls are going to go before they go in the oven. And I'll give you a look at how we shape these little bad boys up. Alright, so here we go. We'll tip him out. We've got nicely floured hands. What I might do is just cut that in half, and then halve that again, so it gives us a more manageable amount, roughly even sizes that we can work with. I'm obviously not going to show you working the whole lot, so don't panic. Alright, so we'll start with the first one. We'll knead that a bit, because it dries on the outside a smidgen and we don't really want that to happen. Alright. I'll squash that down. I'm going to cut that too. Cut that into 4. And then we'll try and shape that. I like a nice sort of roundish, long, elongated shape. So we'll press that out, and what you do is you just push it over like that, pinch it together, flop it over, and essentially that's your bread roll. That'll go on that tray with semolina, and we'll come back when we've done the rest, eh? So there they are, all shaped and set on the baking tray. I'll cover those with a towel and leave them for probably another hour and a half until they at least double in size. You can see the ones down this end are already starting to swell again. And then after that we'll dress them up. We'll put a bit of an egg wash on them so that they're nice and shiny when they cook, some seeds, and we'll do a little maker's slash, before they go in the oven. Alright, be back shortly. So here's those bread rolls. You can see they've well and truly risen. We've got some chai seeds. We've got, we call it a hobby knife with a bit of butter smeared on it. I think in the States they call it a box cutter, I think, I'm not sure. And a single egg beaten. So all we're going to do is we're going to hit those buns with a bit of egg wash. Then after that we'll come back, we'll add the chai seeds, and we'll give it a quick maker's slash with that hobby knife. That always makes it look kind of pretty, is the reason I do it. Anyway, I'll come back when we're all done, eh? So there they are, washed with the egg mix, and they've got those little chai seeds sprinkled on them. Now, from what I understand, those chai seeds are really good for you. They'll cure cardiovascular disease, brain tumours, cancers and leprosy, apparently, if you can believe what's written on the packet. Alright, that might be a bit of exaggeration. I'll show you how we do that little maker's slash. So on bread rolls, I really just do 2 light, quick little cuts like that, and they'll open up when it cooks, and it really does give it quite a nice sort of cutish look. There you go. Okay, so the oven's preheated to 220. We're going to pop these little fellas, they're all prepped and ready to go. We're going to pop them into the oven, 220 for probably 15-20 minutes, and then I'll slow it down to 180 until I think they're cooked. There you go folks, that's the final product. So yeah, it was 15 minutes on 220 and then about 7 minutes on 180. You can see those little slashes have come up quite cute. They open up. There's the chai seeds, and the egg wash gives it that lovely colour. So there you have it folks, there's our bread rolls for Rossie's friends coming over tonight having a barbie. I'm actually pretty happy with that. That's a nice open textured bread. You can see crumbs flying off. It's a nice crispy crust. Yeah, real pleased. Beauty. Alright, well we'll say goodbye from another exciting episode from McDowall Manor.